Toy Story 5 is in production. Terminator 7 is coming soon. Sam Raimi for Secret Wars. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. And today we have a very special guest. We have David from the So Sidious Podcast. Welcome, man. How you going? Hey, man. David? David? David?
Have I been frozen this whole time?
Yes, you have.
Beautiful. Happy to be here. Great start. Gosh. Oh, that's beautiful.
It's all right. Don't stress. It's the fun part of being live.
2 for 2 on our very intros to a live recording. Beautiful.
Well, as everyone knows, we're live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook right now, and it sometimes has its glitches, but that's totally fine. So David's going to be joining me today. We're going to be looking at some pop culture news, and we're going to be reviewing the fantastic, groundbreaking Across the Spider-Verse. How you going, man?
Oh, it's going great, man. I can't wait to dive into that, as a whole. But thank you for having me. I'm glad that my connection was able to fix itself and able to be here and actually conversing and seeing each other here. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
No, anytime. I'm glad we could organize this because we've been probably chatting for a little while now, trying to organize this.
Yeah.
And I appreciate. It was a couple of weeks back when you shouted me out on your show too.
Yeah.
When I did the Monday night shoutouts.
Yes, we were supposed to have 2. There's still an episode lost in the archives where we shouted you out, and I think Cheers Big Ears as well. And
yeah,
that episode has not made it. So we did it twice to kind of make up for it. But it's remains to be seen if we end up getting that episode out or not. But there might be a second one coming for you.
I'll take that any day. All right. So as everyone knows, before we fully dive in, it's the fun part. Get ready for the intro.
Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
So, David, you guys, your podcast, 115 episodes. You've just passed your 1-year anniversary, 926 followers on Instagram. You guys are killing it. Your logo is fantastic. So tell for everyone who doesn't know about your podcast what it's all about.
Hey, man, appreciate the kind words. So we got a podcast, Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. It's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, we just cover everything, all the nerd stuff out there, movies and TV and comics and books, everything out there that, tickles the old nerd funny bone there. We do the regular stuff covering new movies and TVs, but we got some episodic series going too where we, really get nerdy and dive into stuff. So we got something called the Novice Nerd where, everything with superheroes and the entire superhero status today is so overwhelming if you're a newcomer to it. There's so many movies and shows and characters. And, even I'm familiar with a lot of stuff and there's characters. I'm like, I have no idea who this person is.
Where the fuck does this come from?
Yeah, exactly. Guardians was a great example of that. And there's been multiple things since then. I had no idea. We try to give a brief, but kind of basic breakdown of a character and stuff and get newcomers adjusted and used to it. And we got Road to Secret Wars comic series, which is leading up to the Secret Wars event. We're in the Jonathan Hickman's Infinity Run right now. So it's something kind of leading up, get you ready for the Avengers Secret Wars whenever that ends up coming out. Hopefully there's not too many delays.
Writer strike.
Yeah, that's not looking too good for it. Then something real fun we got going on right now. We did an episode a little bit back at the start of the year, 2023 box office draft. So the 3 hosts, me, Jeremy, and Caleb, where two friends grew up in the same hometown. We finally decided to throw together a podcast. But yeah, we got a little friendly competition going. So we had a draft. Every movie that was coming out this year, 2023 in theaters, we formed some lineups, and now the winner of the most combined worldwide box office for all their movies wins. Loser, we don't have a punishment yet, but we're just telling everybody to stay tuned for now. We got to think of something good. But yeah, so that's going strong, and low key brag here, but I got across the Spider-Verse in like round 4 or something. So we're looking pretty good.
I'm sorry for whoever had Ant-Man.
Yeah, that was Caleb, the first movie that came out, and that first weekend was like over 200,000 or something. Like, it had a great opening weekend, and then it just tanked. So yeah,
absolutely nosedive. And then funny enough, 3 months later, you have Guardians of the Galaxy that smashed it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's still rolling. Yeah, I don't know where it's gonna end with, but yeah, it was a tough start for him. But yeah, so that's an exciting thing we got going. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what we're doing at the podcast here. You know, we get pretty deep nerd knowledge on some stuff, and then other times we're pretty
love it.
A little tipsy, getting a little loose with stuff, and just having a good time. So,
well, why the hell not? That's why we all do this. It's all about passion and having fun with it. Good luck for anyone who's brand new trying to work out the DC universe. I Godspeed. Even though I've given up, I'm like, look, I don't know what to tell you. Just watch them as a singular movie and don't even think about the connected.
Yeah, it's too much to grasp right now. It's all over the place. Yeah.
No, and the Flash is coming out, which is meant to reboot the DCU for James Gunn, but we're getting Aquaman at the end of the year. That's still
it doesn't add up. It doesn't line up really very smoothly. So yeah, I don't know.
No, which the Flash actually this week I was able to be a last minute invite to go see an early screening of the Flash. Which
that's awesome.
Which strangest experience. There was 8 security guards in the theater, and you had to put your phone in an envelope and seal it for the entire time. And even weirder, there was no credits. So when the movie finished, it just said the director and done.
Oh, that's weird. It's almost like eerie.
Yeah, I was like, no. We stay for after the credits.
Yeah.
This is wrong.
It's like a whole part. It's a whole part of the experience. You wait for it after credit, which actually, I guess we didn't really have one in this one we're about to talk about, right?
Yeah, no, Spider-Verse, spoilers for this entire episode, because I don't want anyone to come back at me with a fucking pitchfork. Spider-Verse didn't have an after credit scene. The closest thing was, which I think we already knew, which is the title for the next one.
Yes.
Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Beyond. There you go. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, which I didn't realize. For some reason, I thought it was going to come out in June next year. Actually, no, it comes out in March. So we don't actually have to wait a year.
Oh, I didn't see that. Beautiful.
I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. Oh, after that, yeah. My goodness, make it come sooner.
Yeah, exactly right. And if we yes, we could have waited for Infinity War Endgame, but that's a bit different. Which I've already told my partner that when we have kids and they get to this stage, I'm going to make them wait a year. I'm like, you must feel the pain that we all felt.
That's right. That's good. That's good parenting right there. I got to say.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, oh, what happens next? You'll find out in 365 painful days.
Yeah, why don't you just hold on to that pain of that dusting there and just really soak it in with all your characters dying.
Yeah. But don't worry, you get Ant-Man in between.
Yeah. Hey, so how was that though? I saw a video of yours. I thought I remembered that. But yeah, the Flash screening, was that pretty awesome or what?
The Flash movie, it's good. It is back to form. It's a lot better than Shazam. As much as I do love Marvel, it did a better job of the multiverse story.
Okay.
With different variations and at the ending, it did a lot better than what the Multiverse of Madness did. It's just, it almost got to me where at the end it was kind of sad. I'm like, oh, this was such a good outing, but now it's all going to be
It's done.
gone. It's done.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
sucky things.
bittersweet. Yeah.
But I think, and another really weird thing that I'm guessing because of James Gunn era, but I'm not going to spoil anything because the movie hasn't fully come out. But there was a year ago, there was set scenes that were leaked online, and that scene that appears in the movie is completely different. There's actually characters in that scene that are actually not in the scene in the movie.
Oh, okay.
So like 3 characters pop up. They didn't pop up in the movie. I was like, I'm sure there was more people in this scene.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm sure there were a lot of variation, or a lot of different cuts here and there to kind of change certain things with this whole new plan. I mean, the movie's been being made for how long now? I mean, it's been when did they start production?
Like 9. It's been going for 9 years. Here's the thing. Here's the kicker that always gets me. In the same year this movie was announced was when the Flash TV show started. And the Flash TV show has started and finished before this movie got released.
And it was 9 seasons.
No, it was 9 seasons. And how many spin-offs?
Oh, a lot. Yeah, it started continued the whole Arrowverse. Yeah, all those different side shows and everything. My goodness. That's a funny fact.
Yeah, I can't believe that. And it still boggles me that this is not even the version we were meant to get either. Because we were meant to have Cyborg.
Right.
But he doesn't like WB.
Yeah, kind of a rough history there.
Yeah, that's a little bit, which I do have an episode where I fully dived into that. Just for anyone who really wants to know the horrible history of the DCEU.
There you go.
But yeah, Cyborg was meant to be in it, and I think also I forgot his name, but the guy that played Thomas Wayne and his wife was also meant to be in the original one because on the story it's actually based off, which is a Flashpoint paradox.
Right. Jeff. No, he played Negan.
Jeff.
Jeffrey, son of a gun. Jeffrey, not Morgan.
Jeffrey
Dean Morgan. Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yes.
There we go.
So do you know much about the Flashpoint paradox?
Yes. Well, a little bit. I've watched the animated movie. We're actually.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, well, we're gonna be reading I think it's a 5-issue run actually. We're gonna read that as a podcast and do a quick episode review on the comic run itself to kind of get prepared for the movie. But yeah, the Thomas Wayne storyline and everything that goes behind it's super interesting.
That's what was meant to be in it as well, and I was like, I would have loved to seen a Batman that's like, hey, is it straight up murder you? I don't give a shit.
Right. I'm stoked to get Michael Keaton back and see him in action. I really am. But yeah, Thomas Wayne would have been awesome too. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for Keaton.
It was just, I felt like a 5-year-old kid again. As soon as you heard that theme kick in the movie, I was like, this is worth it. Yeah, he's probably going to need a cane in about a year or two, but it's so worth it.
Yeah,
it's probably not him in the suit.
Yeah.
No, but I look forward to your guys' review. I think everyone's going to love it to some degree. I have only had 2 gripes about the whole thing, and that's just been nitpicking. I was like, they could have done that better. But that's about it.
2 gripes? It's pretty good. Yeah, that ain't bad.
Hopefully Aquaman will live up to that as well.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about that one. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not nervous. It's not like a lot rides on it, but I'm not sure what we're gonna get out of it yet.
Fishman 2 and the Lost Kingdom.
That's right. That's right. Orm buddy cop movie.
Yes, apparently, yes. That's 2 brothers that don't like each other. We're gonna work together.
It's such a generic. That's hilarious.
That's pretty much it. But moving on to like pop culture news. Do you hear that Toy Story 5 is coming soon?
No, I don't think I did actually. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so Toy Story 5 is underway, and I'm guessing it's being made to fix the loss over Lightyear. that was a massive loss for Pixar.
See, I missed that. So they lost a lot on that one, huh?
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware of that. Okay. So they're calling in the big guns.
Yeah, like, oh look, we fucked up. Anyway, let's do a story 5 to fix it.
Yeah. Hey guys, remember Toy Story? Cool.
Yeah, cool. You know the series that's had two great endings. Yeah, we're going for a third.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep racking up those endings.
Yeah, we Fast and the Furious of toys.
Yeah, exactly.
So no release date at this stage, but that's in production. Okay. And James Cameron is writing a 7th Terminator movie.
Really? Now that's a confusing franchise because he only had a part to play in the first 2, right? He only directed the first 2 or wrote the first 2.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. And then that's when he leased it off, and that's when it just went.
Yeah. Noticeable decline there from Judgment Day to the rest of them, but yeah, Dark Fate. It wasn't like it was a great movie, but I found entertaining parts of it and whatnot. I didn't mind watching it, but it wasn't, it's not like it was an award-winning movie.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I haven't seen. I think the only one I haven't seen is Dark Fate. Oh no, I hadn't seen the one before that where they spoiled the entire thing by the trailers. Genesis.
Yes, I didn't watch that one either. Is that Emilia Clarke?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've never seen that one.
Yeah, but what I don't get is Salvation wasn't bad. I remember seeing Salvation in the theaters and thought, okay, finally, after 3 movies going, hey, there's a war coming. Hey, there's a war coming. There's a war coming. Oh, this is actually the war.
You got the war, right? Yeah. Yeah, it got a lot of crap, actually, right?
Well, that probably because do you remember the Christian Bale, what he did on set?
Yes, of course. It's an infamous rant.
Yeah, it is. I should get him on the show.
Yeah.
I still love the scene where I think it's they dub that, but Family Guy do it with Peter. Yeah, and he's having a go at Peter. It's like, I'm sorry, the bagel ran on the set. What do you want me to do? Why are you yelling?
Why are you so mad? Hey, jeez.
Yeah. So that's in production, and apparently also Sam Raimi is being tapped to take over for Secret Wars to direct.
Interesting.
How do you feel about that?
It's hard to know because Multiverse of Madness had so many rewrites, right? I mean, they changed a ton of stuff that was initially planned, and COVID, and I think that had a little effect on the story writing and stuff. So I don't know. I like Raimi's style in certain places, but I don't know if I want Secret Wars to have the Raimi style to it. But I don't know. I'm a little skeptical with it, but I guess it could be cool. He's got a unique style to it. He does, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm still don't know what to think about that yet.
I'm 100% down for it. My only thing is I'm a bit worried about is I feel like who's ever directing Secret Wars, they should do the same thing what they did with Infinity War Endgame. I feel like it needs to be the same director for both, because then you might get too much of a different tone. Like look at Star Wars sequel trilogy. Oh, look what happened when you had the one director at the start and then one same director at the end, but you had a different director in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's again the Russo brothers doing both Infinity War and Endgame was perfect. I mean, it was the same. It just felt like the same quality, the same tone, the same story. But yeah, I don't know. And do we know who's doing King Dynasty yet? I know Jeff Loveness is no longer writing it.
Yes, which I saw a lot of people were really happy about that.
Yeah.
But he was coming
off Ant-Man.
Look, you did a semi-good job.
I actually enjoyed Ant-Man more than most people did in the theaters, Quantumania, but
I didn't think it was that bad. Like it could have been better, but my review was it had me as a Dark Knight effect, meaning I wanted to see Kang a whole lot more than I ever wanted to see Ant-Man. So every time Kang was on screen, Kang wasn't on screen, I'm like, I want to see Kang.
Yeah.
I don't care about the hero.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I didn't care about the Cassie time much at all. I just wanted more Kang.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people care about Cassie because it was recast.
No.
Oh, that's right. So the director for Kang Dynasty is the same guy who directed Shang-Chi.
That's right. And I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I love Shang-Chi, so I'm totally here for that.
That was such a good movie. I
Yeah.
haven't gone back and watched it in a while, but that was actually because of COVID. That movie nearly broke my record of seeing every MCU movie at the theater. Because we in Victoria, Australia, when that got released, we went into a really big lockdown at the same week. I'm like, shit. And then I think its run was still just going when we finally got out of lockdown to go. So I said to my mates, I'm like, we need to go.
Yeah, this is a red alert. Yeah. Well, that's good you got to see it in theaters because that end scene and everything, I thought it was beautiful. And seeing it on the big screen like that was it was the right place to watch it.
100%. And still right now has one of the best hand-to-hand combats. And all the fighting was fantastic.
That fight with Death Dealer, I think is his name, up in the skyscrapers, and the fight with Razor Fist on the bus. I mean, my goodness, it was such a joy to watch.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's been so far away until we're gonna see him again. I'm like, okay, he's with Wong.
That's right.
Where are you, buddy?
Where is he? Yeah, I guess we'll find out, but I would like to see him very soon.
Yeah, so do I. I think a lot of people, which I feel like we can get, a lot of people like, where is everybody? It seems like so MIA with so many characters, which sucks. But I guess the universe is just so big now, you can't have everybody everywhere.
Yeah,
anymore.
It takes a while to get back to people now because we're just so. I mean, in Phase 4 was just all over the place. You know, we're branching out to so many different stories all over. So yeah, I mean, and you got to set up Secret Wars, so I get it. There's a lot of stuff to cover and set up, but yeah, it makes you miss characters like that when it takes too long to get back to them.
Yeah, and look, I think looking back, Phase 4 will be the one that probably the least favorite, most controversial, and obviously the most affected with COVID.
Yeah,
like it's you can tell it suffered majorly between the TV shows and the movies. And now, which a lot of people have said, Guardians of the Galaxy feels like a return to form.
Oh, it did. Totally. And no, you're totally right. And it's kind of unfair because COVID, it was an unprecedented event that changed No Way Home plot. All the releases got switched up, so they had to change a bunch of stuff like that. And then we find out about this whole writer issue. So this writer strike is now going on, but there's a strike going on because conditions for them has not been ideal. And so that you look back on Phase 4 and you're like, okay, so writers were going through crap all through Phase 4 and dealing with COVID. And we just fired Victoria Alonso, head of VFX. I mean, there's so many different things that happened during Phase 4 that it's like, it's not a surprise. It was kind of all over the place. There was a lot of crap going on.
But at the same time, we got some great gems.
We did. We really did.
Through all that, which just on YouTube, Eric Guns has already made me like Five's 5, already better than Phase 4, which is a lot. I think a lot for a lot of us, But still, at the same time, Wakanda Forever was solid, and Shang-Chi was a gem. And some of the Disney Plus shows were better than the movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I loved Moon Knight. I mean, we got No Way Home, which was a massive start to Phase 4. Like,
great start to that. And we the Loki TV show was great. And Moon Knight. I remember when it got first announced. Before I was like, oh, what's this going to be like? And then at the end of it, I'm like, I want more Moon Knight. I need a season 2. I need more of this.
I loved it. It was so unique. It was so unique. The first 2 episodes and the mystery of him blacking out and everything. I was on the edge of my seat with that stuff. I mean, it was just great. Oscar Isaac, Ethan Hawke both absolutely killed it. I can't believe it got as much criticism as it did, actually, because I just really thoroughly enjoyed it.
Neither did I. I'm like, come on. It even got a TikTok trend, which was actually quite funny with everyone doing the blackout.
Yeah, it was funny.
And the CGI held up, especially the suit. Especially the suit was on point.
Loved it. Beautiful suit. Both of them.
Yeah.
Moon Knight and was it Mr. Knight?
Yeah.
Mr.
Knight. And what's her name?
Scarab.
Her suit. Yeah.
She was awesome. I loved that little new creation character creation at the end of the season there. I thought that was a badass design and style.
Yeah. That was sick.
And unexpected.
No, I wasn't expecting her. Like I could say, like the start of the season, I'm like, oh yeah, you'll probably become a hero or you'll become a superhero. I'm like, nah. Or like even the scene where he moves the world, the time difference.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
But I just want to get season 2. I just hope it does come, and I would love to see Moon Knight in Deadpool 3. I'd love to see him talk to Deadpool. That'd be so funny.
If we get Mr. Knight and Deadpool going back and forth, it would be hilarious. Oh gosh, we do. Yeah. We need that.
Wish Deadpool 3, that is shaping up to be my next excited movie.
I saw a report about it, and the way they phrased it was kind of like Deadpool 3 is shaping up to be the No Way Home for the X-Men. So essentially, we're going to be getting a bunch of the classic X-Men popping in and out from the Fox universe, and I can't wait.
Neither can I, and it's almost becoming like Secret Wars. There's so many rumors of who's going to appear in that. Like I just saw another one. Apparently, Magneto's meant to be the bad guy in it, and Halle Berry is in London rocking a Storm haircut too. And it's like, okay, well, obviously you know what rumors that's going to boost.
Oh yeah,
and Loki's going to appear in it. Owen Wilson's character is meant to appear in it. And Logan, nearly all the original cast from Deadpool 1 and 2 are also going to be in it. I just can't remember if Vanessa, she confirmed if she's in it.
I don't think that one has been confirmed, actually. Yeah. Morena Baccarin, I think.
Yeah, sci-fi queen.
Something close to that. Yeah. I don't think she's been confirmed yet, which is a bummer. She should. I mean, I know she's dead, but, you know.
Is anyone really
he went back
dead?
in time. Yeah, he went back in time and fixed a bunch of timelines. She's alive. Oh, no, she's alive. He had that whole sequence at the end of Deadpool 2 where he saved her, and then he said, I'll be right back, baby, and he went through time and started fixing all the stuff. So we did see her alive the last time. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Hopefully she'll be back.
Yeah,
Colossus is back, and Teenage Warhead and her friends kind of come into it.
It was Kamiko or something. No,
that's it. Yeah.
Is it Kamiko? Okay.
Yeah, she's going to be there, and that's just shaping up to be such an awesome movie. And I saw a photo of Hugh Jackman rocking the full Logan look, like old man chops. Logan look. Yeah,
there we go.
Who would you like to see from the MCU appear into Deadpool 3?
MCU appearance? Let me think here. I mean, I think Doctor Strange would be funny because, or not funny, but it would make sense. He's dealing with all the multiversal stuff. So if he opened up a portal or something like that, going through it. Spider-Man, just for the fact of how fun Spider-Man and Deadpool are in the comics, it would be awesome if, I don't care which one does. Andrew Garfield actually would probably be a better comedic feeding off of Ryan Reynolds. I think that would be a hilarious interaction between those two. So, but that's loosely the MCU now. So I guess Tom Holland, but Spider-Man and Deadpool would be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And another pick that I would like to see is She-Hulk. Just to see them both talk to the screen. I'm like, who are you talking to? No, this is my audience.
That would work because, like a lot of people said, oh, she's copying Deadpool, but she is the first to do it in the comics to break the fourth wall and everything. And so that'd be a funny little throw in there. I wasn't a fan of the series, but that would make sense. It would be funny, especially I trust they would do it the right way.
In a movie, yes, I think so too, and I know Ryan Reynolds would make sure of it as well. You didn't like She-Hulk?
No, I wasn't that big of a fan of it.
Well, what about I think Daredevil?
Oh yeah, I'm here for that. That would be cool too, to establish kind of a ground street level team up kind of deal. So if we got Moon Knight with Deadpool and Daredevil and Spider-Man flying around New York City, I mean, yeah, so I'm there for a Daredevil appearance for sure. Yep. Oh, it would bring in so much money so easily. Just do it. We're here for it.
Exactly right. It's bringing up enough. It's going to bring in enough money than just the title saying Deadpool 3 with Hugh Jackman in the MCU. Rated R is just.
Oh my gosh!
Apparently, it will have the R rating as well.
Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Thank God.
It needed to, yeah. You can't pump the brakes on Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool after those first two. You just can't. No. So I'm very glad they decided to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's Kevin Feige's pushing for it as well. Like he said, like it's going to be R. Like you can't make it anything not R because it would just take it away, and then people will complain, go, "Oh, what if?"
Right.
But no, I'm sorry, totally fine. That was a hell of a tangent that we went on to. But just to wrap up the news, apparently Oppenheimer is going to be rated R. That's coming out. I wasn't expecting R, but okay.
Has he had an R-rated movie yet? Was Tenet R? No.
This is Nolan's first R-rated movie. But I'm just trying to think. I'm like, what would be make it the R?
What would the requirement be other than we might see some, well, even people being torn apart by a nuclear bomb, that's still, you could do that PG-13, I feel like. So weird. I have no idea why they would do that, but
I'm like, it's still gonna make its money.
Oh yeah, I'm still here for it. I can't wait for that movie. I mean, the cast, oh gosh, it's all just such a great premise. I can't wait.
The cast alone,
crazy.
Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt, Robert Downey Jr.
Isn't Matt Damon in it too?
Matt Damon. It's insane.
There's at least. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say there's at least 3 or 4 more like decent sized names too that I'm not thinking of right now, but it's just stacked.
Yeah, everyone wants to work with Christopher Nolan. And did you see that the memes with Albert Einstein saying
yes,
Einstein will return in Avengers Secret Wars.
The post-credit scene, there's a bunch of scientists. What does E equal though? He writes MC and it cuts to black.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. Yeah. Scientific cinematic universe coming up.
Coming soon.
Oh yeah.
By Nolan. And probably the last bit of one that it's kind of no shocker. The Rock had Black Adam fail. He couldn't take over DCU. So now he is back in the Fast and Furious universe. And he will begin his own Fast and Furious spin-off again, but not Hobbs and Shaw sequel.
I don't know. I'm not surprised, I guess. I just don't understand why you wouldn't at least continue the Hobbs and Shaw thing. Because if I remember correctly, Hobbs and Shaw did decent, right? Didn't it do okay in the box office compared to a lot of other Fast and the Furious movies?
Yeah, and I think it's actually like better rated than half the Fast and Furious films.
Yeah. Now, did you ever see it? I didn't see it, but
nah, the last Fast and Furious film I watched, I think, was number 4.
Okay.
And everyone tells me, he's like, "Oh no, you should have kept going. It's when it gets better." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's what I hear too. I mean, because 5, I guess there's bigger names and whatnot. But yeah, I think the last one I had watched was Too Fast, Too Furious until my buddy, when Fast 9 came out, was like, "You got to come with me." I was like, "Man, I'm not that into it." And I went and watched it with him, and I was just laughing so much. It's so ridiculous. They flew a Pontiac into space. I mean,
so where is space?
Yeah, it's something. So I guess I'm not surprised though that they're continuing the franchise.
Yeah, and well, there's 2 more on the way. You know that, right?
I know they
There's
turned it into a trilogy.
Fast 11, Fast 12, and Vin Diesel's like, "Oh, the studio want me to finish off the trilogy before we launch all the spin-offs." I'm like, "That's plural. How many do you have planned?"
Well, I heard something about a Fast and the Furious crossover with Transformers, crossing universes, which I'm not even counting out at this point. They might do it. Who knows?
Nope. And apparently, was it Vin Diesel won't rule out time travel?
God.
Like, what the?
Have mercy on us.
Do you? I still love to this day. I think it was the last Fast Furious. All the Dom memes crossing over into different universes, saving somebody. And one of my favorite is it's the Lion King, and Simba gets pushed off, and Dom saves him in the car, and be like, "No, Simba is family."
Oh my
Like,
god. I didn't see that one. I saw the one where it's the Avengers Endgame, and they're like, "What are the ships aiming at?" And then the Fast and the Furious music starts playing in the background. It's Dom just driving his car into the ship. There's some good stuff.
I saw a great one actually. Someone redid that. It's like, "Oh, what's it? Oh, what's this shooting at the sky?" And someone put it was Goku coming straight down. I was like, No, I would like to see the rest of that scene.
Hey, you can tear them all up from what I hear. Jeremy on our show, he's a big Dragon Ball Z fan, and he has very well informed us about how much Goku would just absolutely destroy a lot of that stuff.
He pretty much kill everybody.
Yeah.
The biggest one's always Superman versus Goku. Like, there's so many YouTube videos on that.
Yeah. Oh God, I know.
I'm like, why? Like, why spend so much? Like, you know who would win. But that's about the biggest thing that's happened the past week. So let's get into the biggest animated movie nearly ever. So Across the Spider-Verse. Now, this had a budget of $100 million. Currently, right now, it's made $70 million at the box office. This is a sequel to the 2018 film Into the Spider-Verse. This movie was originally meant to come out April last year, but because of COVID, it pushed everything back. So we do have this one. And what we were talking about earlier, me and Dave were talking about, is that currently right now, it is the highest rated superhero movie on IMDb with a 9.1 rating. And just to add the gravitas of that, it is beating The Dark Knight.
Crazy.
And just for anyone who doesn't know, so for this one, Miles Morales catapults across the multiverse where he encounters a team of spider people charged with protecting its very existence. When the heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles must redefine what it means to be a hero. Ooh, chills. So first initial thoughts on this, David, because like as I said, this at the very start of this film, it's kind of not the very intro. There's so many credits. That's probably my one gripe is there's so many opening credits to this movie. But it starts off with Gwen, not Miles.
Yeah, that was an interesting strategy they did with that, and I think it worked great. We got that was my first takeaway, was that whole intro leading up to the title card. I was hooked immediately. It grabbed me so quick, and it did such a good job in such a small period of time of fleshing out who Gwen was as a character and the tragedy she's gone through that's formed her into the person she is right now that we really didn't have that big of a grasp of last movie. So I thought it was such a smart decision to start off that way, because obviously she plays a massive role in this, but they did just a really efficient job at creating that backstory for her at the start of the movie.
It's always like a short movie, short film before the actual film, really, isn't it?
Oh, it felt like it was 20 minutes in a good way, though. It felt like we got so much out of it that it was like, oh shoot, that's the title card. Oh man, thought we were rolling for a while here.
yeah, so did I. I was like, oh, okay. So now the movie will start.
Yeah.
But that first like animation style, and I didn't even think of it, but I love the plot twist that Peter turned into Lizard. That he did. I'm like, that's still very possible. Like that's not so like a full character flip. Like Peter could have gone down that direction, like Connors.
Yeah, no, totally. What a twist. I obviously was not expecting that. But it's a great way to kind of switch up the backstory we know about Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker kind of deal. So I loved that decision. And like you said, man, it was beautiful. I mean, the art style for Gwen's universe, the pastel colors, the smooth brush strokes, everything, it just was so vibrant. And the close-up of her on the bus, I think, was one of the first really up close. And it was just like, oh, this is gorgeous. This animation is gorgeous. So,
which stays for the entire movie. And not only was the animation really nice in that first scene, but even getting a Renaissance vulture.
Yeah.
It's like, I love it. Like, you're probably just sitting somewhere having a coffee, weren't you? Oh, that's about right.
Yeah. I love that. I love that little villain they threw in there. Like, the whole Renaissance vulture style of it and the concept behind it. That was awesome. That really worked for me.
And we get our first introduction of Miguel, Spider-Man of the future, which I'd love to say is like compared to him now than what he was at the end of the Into the Spider-Verse. Taking roids or taking supplements, he's jacked compared to the first version.
Yeah, the animation style switched up on him for sure because his shoulders are about twice the width as they used to be. He's a big guy now.
Yeah. Like, wow. Spider-Verse has really been rough.
Oh my gosh. He's been prepping. He's been juicing up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about his backstory coming into this?
All I knew of him, he's very I put in the same category as like Batman Beyond. It's a Spider-Man of the future. I knew that he wasn't Peter Parker as such. He has a very unique story, but not a whole. Besides that, that was about it.
Okay,
I don't even know he's a vampire.
That's what I was gonna ask you because I'm right with you with the backstory of him. Like I briefly know, but we get that little clip that it's shown. It's his intro. It's the silhouette, and he busts out these vampire fangs when he's about to kill this villain until like a spotlight shines on him or something. He stops, but it was like, wait. And they never really went back to that except for Gwen at one point, a throwaway line where she's like, well, he's kind of like a vampire Spider-Man. And it was like, wait.
Yeah.
I want to know more about that.
Away.
Yeah, I would like to know more about that. And his eye pupils did almost look red when they get close up on him. But I had no idea. And I want to know more about that. Is he a vampire werewolf Spider-Man or what the hell?
Yeah, I didn't know. I had no idea, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "Wait, what? Are you sure you're a Spider-Man?"
Yeah, it was odd. But it was cool.
Yeah, I loved his webs. Like, I liked how that's all red, and his suit is fully sick. And I love the fact it's Oscar Isaac, who obviously Moon Knight, Poe, the list goes on, but he's really becoming a superhero MVP.
Oh, he is. He did a great voice job in this film. His voice acting performance was perfect. Like he came off slightly unhinged, like still as a hero, but a little unhinged and intimidating and dangerous. But yeah, he did. He really sold the character. All the voice acting in this movie, by the way, was incredible. I mean, we'll get into it as more characters come out and whatnot throughout the movie. But man, everybody really stepped up on this one.
Yeah, they did. This was such an improvement compared to the first one on both the acting, animation. Like it just got turned up to 11. And I did like how Gwen's father does find out about who she is. Yeah. And I wasn't expecting it, but he was about to call her in.
Yeah. That was tough. Yeah, that was an intense scene. Like, oh God, I can't even imagine what Gwen's going through, after she finally reveals it and he just fully planning on arresting his daughter.
Yeah. I'm gonna arrest you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as we see that, she joins the time cop Spider-Man police. Pretty much. And that's how and then bang, we get straight into the movie where we're introduced obviously Miles going to college and Spot. The villain Spot, which I loved at the very start. I think he was a great addition. And I love he's like, hey, do you have an ATM that's not tied down to anywhere? Cool. Yeah. Thank you. And please, this is my first mugging. Please don't make this a bad experience for me.
He was perfect. His humor. So he had a little bit of vibes of what was it, Spider-Pig? James Mulaney.
Yeah.
Or John Mulaney, good lord.
Yeah. Suxy wasn't in this.
Yeah. Because it reminded me of him a lot. But I actually liked Spot's humor more so. It landed for me a lot more, even though I liked Spider-Pig and John Mulaney and everything. But Spot was just an unexpected surprise. I didn't know how big of a role he would really have. I knew he was the villain that they were advertising, but I thought maybe, honestly, Miguel O'Hara ends up being the villain kind of deal.
I thought that too.
Yeah. But it was a perfect first scene. It was hilarious. The banter back and forth while they're fighting, where Miles just doesn't even care about him, and Spot's
You're
really
a weekend villain.
Yeah, and he just had so many great little one-liners and the comedic timing of everything. I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and the way they turned him around by the end of the movie it worked so well for me. It worked so well.
So going from like just a bumbling villain to I'm going to destroy everything and I have the power to do it because you called me a weekend villain.
Yeah. He was legitimately intimidating and like creepy. And the art style, the way they switched around his art style was done just so well. It just did it was like it like switched the colors and hues almost to like an inverse of what he was. And it kind of had this scribbling outlines going all around. And it just gave off this really hectic and chaotic type of persona.
Unhinged.
But the way, unhinged, perfect. And the way he spoke about what he was going to do in the calm manner, all of a sudden, there was no more comedic timing. There was no more humor. It was just intimidation and creepiness. And it was just such a perfect switch of one character from the start to the end of the movie.
Hundreds from the guy struggling to steal an ATM to this.
It was a great scene. It was a great scene.
But no, that was 100%. And the opening, and I loved what I do love about the character as well is someone did actually post a photo which I shared on my Instagram. Found the scene from the first one where the guy get hit by a bagel.
Yes, that such a small detail, but that's awesome. Really, you made the bagel guy the villain of the second movie, and it worked
perfectly. Hey, at least, that's a lot better than someone going, oh, I was an intern and I worked for Tony Stark, so I hate everything.
Yeah, it was more original. I appreciated this one. Bagel guy turns into a multiversal absolute villain. Just beautiful.
Yeah, you don't remember me. Should I? Who are you?
You hit me with a bagel.
Yeah. What? But no, and obviously we get to see Miles also struggling with joining college and where he wants to go with his family, which even his mum and dad do a great acting of all three, which I did love, which I'm pretty sure, isn't it? Oh no, I can't. No, I'm thinking of somebody else. But no, that was a great scene. It's like I like he's lying to you. I'm like, of course he's lying to you. And then we get the family barbecue for him to be captain. I loved the twist with him becoming the captain.
Yes.
Like if he becomes captain, you're dead.
It was perfect the way they rolled that out. Yeah. Yeah. Like, canon event.
Yeah, canon. Yeah, canon is canon.
Mm-hmm.
I love how that was explained.
Like that. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
Like these are all canon events.
Yeah. No, that was a great way to do that. The captain thing, and it just added so much. And especially, they go back to it with Gwen Stacy's dad later in the movie too, regarding the whole captain role and everything, where he doesn't become the captain, and it saves that canon event. But it's just so well written.
This whole movie, and which is why I can't wait for the second one. And I do love the drawings of like the interdimensional portals, like with Miles when he's laying on the bed, everything that starts lifting up, and just how that's all drawn. And what did you think of? I can't remember its name. Was it like Spider-Man of India?
Oh, what was his name? It was. Oh gosh, I already forgot. I forgot his real name too. Crap.
Peter, chai tea? You're saying tea. You don't say coffee.
It's tea. Yeah. And that was voiced by Dopinder from Deadpool.
Yes.
The
as
cab
soon
driver.
as I heard his voice, I'm like, I remember you. Which
Dopinder,
I don't know if I think he is coming back for Deadpool 3 too.
Yes, I think he got confirmed. Yeah. So that's awesome because he's hilarious.
Yeah.
But Mumbattan, right? That's where they end up going to, which is like a combination of Mumbai and Manhattan, which is cool. That was a cool, again, all these unique styles in these different universes. They're all different art styles, and they're all so cool and unique in their own way. And it's just such a beautiful piece of work that this movie put together with all that.
Just to sit and watch it, just to sit and just visually just watch it and just be amazed. And I did love, was it? Here's a traffic. Here's traffic. Here's more traffic. Here's more traffic.
Yeah.
And the whole scene with and was it Punk Rock Spider-Man? So cool. So cool. His entrance.
I think he was my favorite part of the whole movie. I'm not even kidding. And maybe not my favorite part. My favorite character. Just because I was so surprised. I didn't really expect much. I saw the trailer, Spider-Punk. I was like, okay, that's kind of quirky. They're throwing him in there, but I don't have any expectations. Like, I don't really have a big history of reading Spider-Punk comics or anything. I just know that that's a thing. But he was awesome. Daniel Kaluuya. I never know how to pronounce his last name.
I think so.
He's in Get Out, and he's in Black Panther. Wakabi, I believe, is his name in Black Panther.
Yeah.
He killed the voice acting role. He came in with that strong Cockney accent. He was hilarious. He was smooth. He had charisma with everything he was saying. I thoroughly enjoyed any time that guy was on screen. I just absolutely loved it, and I had no expectations for it. So it was just such a pleasant surprise.
And he always said every scene he's in has almost his own animation style compared to the rest of it. Like, he doesn't fully blend in with everybody.
Yeah.
And I love how he took off his mask. He's like, how are you still cool with your mask off? I'm just still cool all the time.
I was always this cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. His animation is almost like a ransom letter. Like, it's cut out magazine squares that they're gluing together. It was so cool and unique again. But
I'm just thinking of the Sex Pistols. That's all
yes.
I was thinking.
I think that's what they had to have been aiming for. It had that whole style to it. But God, what a delight. I had no idea that was going to be so cool.
No. And not only that, but also we get Lego Spider-Man.
Yeah, what?
I was not expecting Lego.
Dude. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed too, J.K. Simmons came back to reprise his role as J. Jonah, and he was in every universe. He was in the Gwen Stacy one. He was in the Lego one. And I'm pretty sure the Miles one. So it's confirmed. J.K. Simmons, Nexus being in the in the Spider-Verse.
He is too, yeah. And MCU, like, it just any universe you go into, J.K. Simmons will always be J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, he's around, and he should be because he's the best J. Jonah Jameson there is. So can't replace him.
No, you can't, and it just makes me more like, give us Invincible Season 2. When is that dropping?
That's a great question. I haven't heard anything about that show since Season 1 ended. Like anything.
They did drop a small teaser about a month ago. Not to go off topic, but they dropped a small teaser and Invincible's talking to the alien he met in
Seth Rogen?
space. Yeah.
Okay.
And he actually pokes fun. He was like, "Oh, dude, when are you coming back?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been doing things, doing a little bit of writing." And he's like, "No, dude, when are you coming back?" And he's like pushing him. I was like, "I'm coming. I'll be here at the end of the year." And he's like, "Okay, that's what I want."
Yeah, you better.
Yeah. And that's the thing, both that and The Boys. I know we're meant to get season 4 of The Boys. I know we're meant to get season 2. I'm like, just give us the release date.
Yeah, haven't heard anything. I've heard about I guess this is another tangent, but they're doing like a spinoff for The Boys. It's like college.
It's Gen V.
Gen V, yeah, there you go. I've heard about that, but nothing about the actual main show.
Apparently, it's still going to be coming this year. Even Gen V, also doesn't have a release date. Like,
man. Yeah, one with these
come
writers.
on.
Yeah, that's pretty much a mood, right? All there in that little post you had there.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it's making us feel. Just, and with the writer strikes, who knows? Again, that's another thing. It's just like,
that's the sad part. So how'd you feel? So after we see those two worlds, we go into Spider-Man 2019's future, where we get the HQ of the Spider-Verse. And I think I was looking everywhere in this scene. I'm like, trying to look at every single Spider-Man. I love Jack Spider-Man. That was like, oh my God, everything's so terrible.
that was the clone, the Ben Reilly. Yeah. It's emotional, depressing.
Yeah. Oh my God. And it's like, Cowboy Spider-Man. It's like, why is the horse wearing a mask?
To conceal his identity. Yeah, I can't wait to watch that at home and pause it and just be able to take in the map. Because like you said, I mean, they utilize every square. It's like Visions. It's like Visions in their small episodes. Again, not to get too off track here, but Star Wars Visions, they're 10-minute, 15-minute episodes, but they're utilizing every square inch of the screen to tell this story throughout. Like, they are making every bit count, and that's exactly what the Spider-Verse movies do. Every little thing. There's a part where somebody makes a joke like, did you spot the spot? And Spider-Woman's like, that's hilarious. Anybody else have any jokes? And then it shows like 8 to 10 spot puns just popping up in different parts of the screen all over the place. And it's just like tiny little things everywhere. And that's before we get to the awesome Easter eggs that comes on this world. Like,
well, actually, pulling back, one Easter egg I forgot to mention was Miles's buddy in his dorm. He's playing.
Oh yeah, he's playing Insomniac Spider-Man. Yeah. So I saw that, and I heard that that character was going to be in the game, and so I figured, that was it. But he came back again.
Yeah, came back, and there he was.
Yeah,
which I thought was so cool.
Yeah, that was funny.
And just looking around at all the Spider-Man, all the different versions, which was still we got even more scenes where we still got even more Spider-Man from that. And I do love how Miles almost acts like us as the fans. Like, he's like, oh my God, hello, I'm Spider-Man. Oh, really?
He plays that role of the audience. Yeah, the audience seeing all this stuff for the first time and being so blown away and confused and asking for clarification on how all this stuff is working.
Yeah, and how he felt. When I saw that, I was like, and you didn't get picked. You didn't get picked, but this army of Spider-Man got picked, but you didn't. Which leads to our introduction into Miguel and his little backstory and what he did, which was kind of sad, really. Destroy another universe just to be with his kids.
Yeah, that's a broken man right there. Because my goodness, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved how his thing was really slow. He's like, just wait.
He's coming. They nailed little things like that. Tiny little, humorous things thrown in there. And they just, the majority of them landed. There weren't a lot of comedic scenes where I was like, okay, this feels forced or this is cringe. Even Guardians had a couple where I was like, okay, this is, we get it. But
now what? Open the fucking door.
Yeah. That Solid.
But yeah, nothing like Thor 4.
Oh God, no. All the humor in this was
Nothing
great. It all landed for me. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Same here, and then we get also how the Spider-Verse all works, which we'll mention that fact canon explains how it all works, why these spider people, how everyone, not only does Uncle Ben die, but the captain always dies, which we get our first cameo of Andrew Garfield.
Yes, crying over Captain Stacy.
Mm.
So this whole thing, we're all the Spider-Man movie got connected in this movie. This was huge. This literally officially made the MCU, the Sonyverse, everything. They combined them all. It's a web. It's one big web.
It's just one big web.
They did it.
It's like a circle. It's like
a circle.
It's all intertwined, because even when he's looking, I did notice when he's looking at the smaller squares, you do see Tobey Maguire, you do see other scenes from, I think there was some No Way Home ones as well, which makes me, this whole captain makes me think, shit, who's the captain's going to die in Tom Holland's?
Right. You think of that. There were a couple things that were canon moments that they brought up. And obviously some of the obvious ones, he gets bit by a spider. Obviously we got that, the Uncle Ben thing, or, your uncle losing an uncle kind of deal, the police chief. But one that surprised me was one of the little clips that you see is Eddie Brock being overtaken by Venom. And so it's like, oh, so a canon event for Spider-Man is Venom and his creation. And that just shows how big Venom, like how big of a role Venom plays in the overall Spider-Man story. It was like, that happens to all of them. There's a Venom.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Which we have to see in Tom Holland's one as well. And speaking of Venom, Mrs. Chung.
Yes.
I love that. I was like, why are you acting like this is a normal Tuesday for you?
She was not phased whatsoever. That was great.
What do you want?
Yeah. I love that. They absolutely nailed that.
That was another killer moment.
And well, we got a lot of other Easter eggs in this too. But we saw, obviously, we saw the Insomniac Spider-Man pop up because they're looking at all the people in the cages, all the, what do they call them?
People who are trying to slip through?
Yeah, they called them like some type of variants. I forget what it was. Basically, they broke the canon timelines. I forget what they called it, man.
Oh, there was. It was something like you shouldn't. I can't remember, but it was like something like you shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
we're going to send you back. And
they called it something anomaly. Yeah,
which we get one of the best cameos in that scene, which is Donald Glover as the Prowler. Oh,
that was so cool. That was so fulfilling. Seeing that, because he's been rumored for so long to have a live action role in Spider-Man. It's supposed to be Miles Morales for a long time there. We finally get him in Homecoming, and he drops the line, I got a nephew who lives around here. And in a deleted scene, he's calling Miles, and he even says the name, hey, Miles, I'm not going to make it. So we get these tiny breadcrumbs with Donald Glover being the uncle of Miles Morales. And there we go. We got him in a Prowler suit, sitting in that caged area. Looked great. I mean, I really hope we get something out of this. I really hope we see him in another project after that, and it's not just a throwaway Easter egg, because
no, I really hope so too, man. I would love to see in Spider-Man 4 that we get the Prowler, we get Miles, maybe Tom Holland helps Miles felt the Prowler for the first time, and maybe something similar does happen with like Into the Spider-Verse, where Miles does defeat the Prowler, but Tom Holland's there to be like, look, this, him to do the mentor thing. This will not be your first. No, sorry, this may be your first, but it won't be your last kid.
Right. Yeah.
I've seen so many. I've seen aliens. You have no idea.
Andrew, I want to fight an alien.
Yeah,
I fought a guy in a weird rhino suit.
You are amazing. Oh, yeah, thanks. That means a lot.
Yeah, no, yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. But no, I hope we get Donald Glover. And this is just something I did mention to you before, is the fact that even though he was live action with Miles right there, the animation and the blend of live action looked beautiful. Like it didn't stand out like he was, like dog's balls. Like it was still in that scene looked so good.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but they blended it so well. Yeah, like we were talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit and all that and all those other things. Obviously, that's also 20 years in the past. But they blended it so well. It just worked, and it didn't feel awkward or out of place or glaringly obvious. It was just like they nailed it. They pulled it off.
And that was a great scene. I love the spider that comes down to make the device to send you back.
That was cool.
And it's webs that make it to send you. And I was like, okay, it's cool. Everything's still is really cool in this movie. Mm-hmm. I love the plot twist that he was never meant to be Spider-Man. I think that was one of the best bits because I was like, all right, this makes a lot of sense. Obviously, they didn't explain it in the first one, but he was never meant to be Spider-Man. So that's why he didn't get invited. He's an anomaly, and none of it air. You know what I mean? Himself.
Yeah. That was great because I started watching Into the Spider-Verse before I went and saw this. I didn't end up finishing it before. I'm still got to watch it actually. But I did actually catch that. I noticed it said something 42 on the spider. When we first see it Into the Spider-Verse, it does have 42 on it. And so, yeah, when this came out in this one, I was like, oh, yeah, they were planning for this the whole time. They had that little detail in there. We just overlooked, what do we think about the number 42 just being on the spider? But
test subject.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't thinking it was a different dimension or anything like that. So it was a really cool way to add to Miles' story. And because I don't think that's a part of his comic background.
No, they've just done it for this one. I don't actually fully remember which kind of spider does actually bite him. One thing I didn't know that he does have his electrical powers.
Yeah, I vaguely knew about his kind of venom power deal that was almost like an electric charge kind of deal that shot out, but I didn't know it to the full extent. I knew he could go invisible, but he was using it. Which, by the way, that was a great scene with Hobie. The first time he sees him, he goes, next time use your palms instead of just your fingertips. You'll take out the whole force shield. And then they trap him, and all he does is shows him his palms, and Miles breaks out. Yep. And then Hobie dips. They all chase after him, and he's like, yeah, I quit. Takes his wrist off, backs up through the portal, just like, you're so damn cool, man. The characters are right. You are the coolest guy here.
Even later in the movie, he's still the coolest one because he still helps.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we get a really awesome chase scene of them going through the world of Spider-Man of the future, both underground, the train. Something about superheroes and train scenes never seems to disappoint. And I still love how Miles is like, you have claws? Are you sure you're Spider-Man?
Yeah. You don't even have any Spider-Man characteristics. Which is kind of true.
And not to mention Spider-Cat, Spider T-Rex.
T-Rex is great.
And we got the animated Spider-Man too.
Mm-hmm.
The old cartoon show.
Josh Keaton from whatever show that was. But yeah, we got the 60s animated Spider-Man swinging in at one point too. That was hilarious. It's just so fun. It's just such a fun scene watching all of that.
And see, yeah, you're right. The T-Rex one as well. That was like, of course there is. Of course. But no, obviously from all of that, we get I can't remember Tom, the other Spider-Man. He's had a kid. He obviously reconnected with oh my god, I just forgot her name.
Peter B. Parker.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's reconnected. He's had a kiddo, and it's so sad that they all knew about Miles and why none of them went and saw him. I'd feel good. I would feel good too. But he's been told you can't see him because he's not actually meant to be Spider-Man at all. And which we get a great twist of him going to the wrong universe.
Oh, that blew my mind. That was great.
as soon as you scan his eye, I'm like, he's not going to get the right one because the spider.
Yeah.
Which we get. So obviously, spoilers. Which if you've come this far, it's your own fault. His uncle's alive. His dad's dead, and Miles is the Prowler.
Oh.
Which that punch scene where all the animation comes behind it with the bag.
Oh yeah, with the Prowler glove on. But
Yeah.
I mean, see, I didn't put that together in my brain. I was so just entranced by everything that was happening in the scenes that he got the DNA, and I subconsciously saw him say like Universe 42, like a quick brief flash on the screen when they were reading him, but it didn't really process until the reveal came out, and then I was like, oh, actually, okay, I think I do. But I was totally caught off guard by it, and there were obviously all the little stuff. Even when his mom was like, "Who's Spider-Man?" I was like, well, that's lazy. She talked to his dad about Spider-Man last movie. What are we doing? It's like, oh yeah, because you're not paying attention. He's in a different universe. Yeah, it was just so cool.
Yeah, the second thing that clicked for me was when she's like, "What have you done to your hair?" And I was like,
"Yep."
I'm
what
like,
do you mean?
Oh shit! But then that's a great plot twist of like, it's not so far fetched that he would be, if he didn't have Spider-Man, would he have become the Prowler?
Yeah. And it's interesting seeing that future where he's looking out across the landscape and he has the realization there's no Spider-Man. This is what, like, there had to be a Spider-Man in every universe of New York. Otherwise, balance was going to be shifted. Spider-Man is apparently, again, a nexus point of Manhattan's, or a big city like that, because it was just a full-on post-apocalyptic wasteland of a city with crime rampant, and it just looked awful. And that's what happens when there's no Spider-Man. So that was, I know I've said it like 9 times already, but it was just great writing. It's just such a well-written plot and a hell of a cliffhanger. That was great because it ended and it kind of stung a little bit. It's like, I need to see what happens. I need to see him.
How did this all come about? That's what I need to see. And just a small little scene when Miguel's standing on top of the building and the rain. Like that scene, just something small like that. I'm like, that looks so cool. Like you're a dick, but you look like a badass.
You look awesome, so we'll give you some.
We'll give you a pass.
That one, yeah. No, this movie needs to win awards. It was gorgeous. It was a work of art. This movie was legitimately just a work of art. I mean,
probably the only solid gripe I do have with it is I don't think the soundtrack lived up to the first one.
Agreed.
Like, nothing was like that scene where he what's up danger when he makes a leap of faith.
Yeah.
It was nothing like that. And I'm like, I know a soundtrack can't be as good as the first one, but then again, I'm like, well, look at Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. They kept bringing the heat with Guardians. Their soundtracks are incredible, all 3. And I totally agree. It was lacking that, because the "What's Up Danger" scene, I mean, you can't watch it and not have chills. You just can't. Yeah. It just is it works together so well with that soundtrack. And we didn't get a scene like that in this movie. And we didn't. So I think the main track that he was listening to was, I forgot the name. It was by Metro Boomin, I believe. I sound so old right now, but I don't remember what it was. But it didn't hit as much as Sunflower did. Sunflower was perfect. No. It somehow embodied like the vibe and the spirit of that first movie. And yeah, dude, it just was perfect. So catchy. I was listening to it for so long after that movie, and that was same takeaway I had. I was like, the soundtrack, it was all right still. There was some points where it was really good, but it was nowhere near the first movie.
No, that was, as soon as the movie ended, when I was driving home, I thought, oh, yeah, there was nothing. Because I remember as soon as I saw the first one, I was like, Spotify, album, stream.
Yes. Which is what I do with Guardians too. I listen to Dog Days Are Over. I listen probably every day on the way to work still, probably for another week or so. But
no, I'm right there with me. I'm still listening to it between Dog Days and the Oh shit, I forgot its name. Heart something. The one where the one at the very start with Adam Warlock is coming through space.
Oh, yeah. Crazy on You by
That's it. Yeah,
I forgot. Shoot.
same people who
Maybe
did
it might be
Barracuda.
By Heart. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Those are two I constantly have on flip.
Oh yeah, they're great. And again, like you said, not to get too far off track, but Guardians has always brought the heat with soundtracks. I got married a little over 4 years
Congratulations.
ago. Oh, thank you. I got married on May 4th, actually. So shout out to my wife for letting me get married on May the 4th. But our soundtrack during the cocktail hour, during all that stuff, it probably had 6 songs from the Guardians first 2 movies, at least. The Guardians soundtrack was very prevalent at my wedding because they're just amazing soundtracks. It's just great feelings, great vibes. I mean, they kill it.
They do, and don't get me wrong. I think I would do the very same whenever I get married. As many songs there'll be from a superhero movie that will be in that playlist.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just won't tell my partner.
Yeah.
But yeah, now you can add on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 onto that, and it just hits. Like, did you see? No, I'll go a little bit. But I forgot her name. The leads. I think her name is Florence.
Yes,
she's crying.
Yeah, watching the movie with her song. Yeah. Great little video there. Yeah.
I was like,
makes you feel a little
that
bit.
whole movie makes you feel.
Oh gosh. Like nothing else. Guardians just brings out a whole new level of emotions when you watch those films.
It does. And I think all my friends, including all my friends and myself, were all crying in the Guardians of the 3. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, if you were going to tell me I'm crying over a CGI raccoon a few years ago, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? Now I'm like, oh my God.
Just sobbing, No, it's emotional. I don't know how you can't at least at one point of that movie, at least water up because
you can't.
Yeah.
But back to the Spider-Verse. So March next year we get Beyond the Spider-Verse. Now I'm really hopeful, but I'm very curious about the title saying Beyond the Spider-Verse. Like, what's past? Like, how far are they talking about beyond? Is this just going to wrap up this side? But obviously, something else is going to have to happen to at least warrant another full movie into it. What's going to happen to Miles? What's going to happen to all the other universes? What's going to happen to his dad? Plot twist, maybe his mum dies instead.
Yeah.
How they're shaping it up. And will it be one of those things that, like, right at the end, Miles might meet another Gwen? Oh no, might meet another Gwen, and at the end it'd be like his universe Gwen, sorry.
Oh yeah, because we don't have a Gwen from this universe, right? Yeah, that's
no.
Huh. I didn't even consider that aspect of this. Well, yeah, and I'm also just Gwen's team that she compiled, they're going to save Miles coming up in the next
original
movie.
Team from the first.
Yes, they brought in all the originals. Nick Cage is back. But was Spider-Pig a part of that?
Yeah, Spider-Pig
he did show up there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got that. You got Penny Parker, but you got Hobie coming back. We got Spider-Punk, which, again, thank you. Thank you for bringing it back.
Yes.
And a few others. I forgot the software program, essentially, who could have reset Miles's dimension going back home, but she didn't, and she's now helping Gwen and all that. So I love the team they compiled at the end of that. So both sides of that. I can't wait to see them in action. And man, what is going to happen in that new universe with Miles now captured by Miles? I mean, there's so much stuff I can't wait to see get on. But about the title, getting back to that, it confuses me a bit. I feel like it would have been cleaner to just call it Across the Spider-Verse Part 2.
No, that's exactly right. It's just Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Beyond. So what the hell? So many theories are about to come out about what that could possibly mean. I mean, Beyond the Spider-Verse, where are we going? What is that? I don't know.
Will we get Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire cameo again?
I feel like that's not a long shot at all. They literally, again, they really they built the foundation of all of these being connected. So really nothing is off the table at this point. I mean, I'm waiting for the Japanese Spider-Man live action guy to pop up in a scene in the next one and stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen the old school, like 80s Japanese Spider-Man show.
Oh my God. Where he's
I think he's got a car.
Yeah,
he drives around in a car at points. But it's true. It's all on the table.
Yeah, because it's good that it got split into two, because there's no way, after watching that, I was like, no way you could have crammed this all into one.
No.
The Spider-Verse. So I think it's at the end of March next year or beginning. But
okay.
Will the third one, the thing is, if the third one lives up to the hype and topples this, the Spider-Verse will be such a clean trilogy.
Oh.
If it does just as good, it'll be such a clean, like a solid trilogy, one like Lord of the Rings.
I was gonna say, it'll be in the top. I'm not saying it'll be number one, but it'll be in the conversation anytime you bring up some of the best movie trilogies out there. This for sure is gonna be in there now. And it also, so there was news that broke that there's a Miles Morales live action project is being worked on at Amazon. No, not Amazon. Well, it's Sony obviously, but I forgot what the.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah, but apparently Spider-Man 4 is on hold right now because the writers' strike.
Yeah.
I don't want Sony to do Miles. I just want MCU.
I understand the hesitation.
I'm like, I don't want you to touch it.
Yeah, I know. They really got to do something with Craven here. But if they botch Craven, then it's just like, why should we trust you with anything at this point? Live action, because what the hell. But yeah, it just made me think, like, I wonder if they have any loose plans of making the live action Miles branching off of what we're watching right now in animation. Like, I wonder if they would try to make that happen, but who knows?
I wouldn't say it's a real possibility, or, well, technically I feel like Spider-Man 4 will be the perfect time to do that, because by the time we get Spider-Man 4, it'll be some time would have passed from Spider-Man 3. So technically, where Spider-Man 4 could take off would be where Tobey was at the end of Spider-Man 1. Like, he's fully in his job at the Daily Bugle. He's struggling with everything. Like, he'd just be that kind of space. Broke. Broke, no money, saving time. I think it'd be a perfect time to introduce Miles into that and have him come into Secret Wars. Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome. And I want to see a Tom Holland bouncing off of another Spider-Man kind of deal. Like, that would be, it would just be so cool. However they want to do it. Again, if they want to bring back Andrew to be a mentor to Miles, I'm good with that too. Whatever you want to do.
Maybe Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, I know. And that's a whole nother thing there. But a lot of backstory behind the whole Spider-Man 4 and what Spider-Man 3 was supposed to be and all that stuff. But one of these, it does. They opened up so many doors in this movie for the future of Spider-Man projects as a whole. It's amazing. But thinking of all those other projects, all the live actions we got, Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. Now we get to this. One of the things that these movies do, this animated movies compared to those others, is it feels like they do a better job at displaying how hard it really is to be Spider-Man. And obviously that was a key point of this movie. Sacrifice, all the sacrifices you have to make and the personal life you have to abandon in order to be Spider-Man, and all the tragedy that comes along with it. And I know we got some of that with Tobey. Yes. It's so prevalent in these movies. And we saw a little bit with Tobey. He couldn't keep his job. He couldn't keep Mary Jane. He was busy trying to juggle Spider-Man. He gave up being Spider-Man for a bit. But these ones made it resonate more. It just made it feel the pain that you do have to go through to be Spider-Man. And this movie just really knocked that aspect out of the park.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, even with Miguel's, like, you have to let him die. If you don't, it destroys everything. It is part of being the role of Spider-Man. You don't always win.
And it's brutal. He tells Peter, he's like, would you have just let Uncle Ben die if you knew ahead of time? And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to ask that of anybody, but
because that's a Nexus event, is that right?
Yeah.
Like that happened. That has to happen for you to be Spider-Man. If that, you can't let that not happen.
Right.
One Spider-Man project I keep forgetting it's in development and is coming is the Madam Web movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
That Sony's making, which is meant to be something very similar to multiverse.
It's very multiversal, yeah. But
yeah, so that's what I'm very confused about that particular one. Thank you, Sony.
Yeah, everybody was asking for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just hoping they have a story to tell because it's a pretty obscure movie project to take on. So it's like, okay, if it's this obscure, I hope you have a great story to tell because nobody asked for this. Again, I don't know. Who knows? At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if it ends up not even coming out with all these writer strikes and all this different changes and all this stuff. And Sony, I don't know. I wouldn't be mind blown if we never even get Madam Web at the end of this.
Neither am I. I just wish Sony would just give up the rights entirely and just give up. It's bad. Yeah. And I think I can't remember, there's also a wrestler movie spinoff that's also in the works. That in Sony's making. That's another Spider-Man villain they're making a spinoff of.
Interesting.
I'm like, why?
It's pretty weird to focus on the villains without establishing the Spider-Man of it all, of the universe.
Well, look at the utter mess that was Morbius. The utter mess.
What the hell was that?
You wasted a good cameo from a good villain, and not even your directors know who the Spider-Man is of that universe.
No. And they threw in stuff in the trailer that wasn't even in the movie that pointed to Spider-Man stuff. It was like, well, why did you put that in the trailer? That was just blatant lying because it had nothing to do with the actual movie. I don't know. That's the one of the weirdest movie projects to have came out in a long time for a lot of reasons. It just boggles the mind.
That was awful. And it's just sad the fact that you've just wasted all this talent.
Yeah.
So Kraven the Hunter 2023, El Miruto, I probably butchered that, is for 2024. Madam Web is for 2024. And obviously Venom 3 is in the works.
Okay. Venom 3. I mean, that's another thing. I don't know what the hell they're doing with Venom, but
Well, that'll be the last one, I think, for Tom Hardy, because he's only signed him for 3.
Okay. Well, the whole thing they did in No Way Home with him and stuff, it confused me more than anything, but
it was just a tasty cameo.
Yeah.
I just love it. So a guy with a bunch of stones. Hang on, start this again.
It was pretty. That's what it felt like. It felt like just a comedic throwaway kind of tie-in real quick, just to kind of give to the fans. But I don't know if anything will come from it.
Well, I probably won't. But then you have Venom say, "We're all Venoms are connected."
Yeah, the hive mind deal with it, and they got left behind in the MCU. So,
yes, that little droplet. Little.
But who knows?
Because that's another character, because we haven't had Eddie Brock in Tom Holland's either.
Yeah, no, that's
no
true.
Eddie
Only
Brock.
Flash.
There's no Eddie Brock. There's no
Gwen Stacy, right?
No Gwen Stacy. No Osborn. No Osborns either.
That's the big hole in that whole thing, is not having an Osborn in that universe. That's tough. So, yeah.
I like, it is tough, but them not having it, but then having William Dafoe come back was the payoff was worth it. But how you're going to introduce in Spider-Man 4, like, hey, there's this rich family that's a scientific family out of nowhere.
Right.
And
Well,
is
and
Tom,
yeah,
is Tom Holland is Spider like, oh hi, I'm Norman Osborn. Oh.
yeah, right. Because now he knows. But I mean, even Norman said in the movie, he's like, "There's no Oscorp here. There's no, there's no Osborn here." And it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
shoot.
there's other people
All
in
right.
my home.
Yeah. Let's talk about that's a trip. That's a trip in itself. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they're going to be doing moving forward with that. But Sony complicates things.
Yes, they do. I'm like, well, look what happened to Fox, Sony.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Fox.
Get it together.
Yeah. Well, David, look, it's been an absolute pleasure for you for joining me this episode. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to have you and the rest of the guys back on for another episode. You're a great mind to pick on all of this.
Hey man, thanks for having me. And we want to get you on soon too. Again, we still have yet to break that guest barrier of having a guest on, but we're getting close. And yeah, we for sure want to have you on in the early episodes and bring you in and get something good going.
Time, place. If I have to get up really early, I'm happy. I don't mind. I'll be there.
Yeah, I mean, we are slightly farther apart from each other, just kind of an entire world. But other than that,
a little trip over the pond.
Yeah, it's just a couple hours. But yeah, no, we're going to make it happen. And yeah, I'm excited for our next collab.
100% I'm down. So as always, guys, thank you so much for everyone listening in, watching. And until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.